Hi, and welcome to Breaking the Limits. I am your host, Laika Sean. Today I have some excellent guests for you. Mark Eisenhart, who has a transformational and inspirational story, and the Earl Trio, a band of three, who is a band that I am very happy to have on my show today. So stay tuned, and we will be right back. Hi, and welcome to Breaking the Limits. I am your host, Laika Sean, and today as a guest I have for you Mark Eisenhart. Now, Mark, thanks so much for joining the show. I know that you have been all over the news of late, and you had a very transformational experience that really kind of launched you into a whole different outlook on life. And I wanted to know if you could share for the audience really who you are and what your journey is about.
Well, Laika, thanks so much for having me on the show. I'm glad to be here. And I believe that in order to really tell the viewers who I am, I have to tell them who I was first.
Okay.
So I'll start there. I was born and raised in northeastern Ohio. I'm a product of Akron Public Schools and the University of Akron, and I was just really blessed and really grateful to have been the product of an incredible family upbringing. I'm so lucky. If you look at, American culture today, there's so much atomization, and the idea of a true nuclear family is almost unheard of.
Well, it's refreshing to hear a story like that.
Say again?
It's refreshing to hear a story like that. You get all the bad stuff on the news,
I agree. It is. It's important. It's an integral part of my journey. So I really had two incredible parents, and my sister is just born of the same stuff, as Shakespeare would say, cut from the same cloth. There wasn't a pair of shears between us all, right?
So 2 kids total, you and your sister?
Sorry?
You and your sister? That's the head count for your
siblings? I have a sister who's 2 years older than I am.
Okay.
So I had an extraordinary relationship with my dad. He was an incredible man, and I refer to him in my book and in many of the interviews that I do as my best friend, because he was my hero and my true north. And the reason I use that language is because my dad was a constant. I mean, try to imagine, what it feels like to have your head hit the pillow every night and just know that your dad's not going to let you down. My dad did not let me down one time in 40 years. If he said he was going to be somewhere, he was there. If he said he was going to do something, he did it. So the peace of mind, the calm, the serenity that I had for my relationship with my dad was extraordinary.
So it sounded like you started out really, really well in a good place. So what happened after that?
Yeah, it really did, and I'm sharing that because what's so important in all this is that it was the experience of watching him beat cancer to die of liver disease that was the catalyst for me for my life to spin out of control and for me to hit my tragic rock bottom, because it was excruciating watching that happen to him. Mm-hmm. So I felt like I needed to set that up, because it was not uncommon for me to spend, hours and hours and hours at a time talking with my dad about the big stuff, right? About, we talked about girls and dating and how not to get them pregnant and all that boys and, birds and bees stuff. Yeah. But we talked about the big stuff. And my dad was such an important part of my life, and I'm so lucky to have, had that relationship with him. So in brief, after his death, which was, the experience was excruciating. His weight was cut in half. A very aggressive course of chemo and radiation caused his cancer to go into remission, but caused a pre-existing diabetic cirrhosis to go into overdrive, and that's what killed him. So I was already in the midst of a very ugly, very dark, very downward spiral, a very self-sabotaging lifestyle. I'm a product of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. I was a twice decorated firefighter paramedic with Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue, and I worked for the largest fire protection district in the state of Oregon. I worked in the Bronx in New York City, and I worked at a level 1 trauma center in Boston at the Massachusetts General Hospital. So
that's some serious stress.
Say again?
That's some serious stress. That's a real tough job.
And PTSD, it's a silent killer in this country, and it really had sunk its teeth into me. So the bottom line here is that after my dad's death, I weighed 455 pounds. I wasn't in control of my life. An eating disorder was in control of my life. I'd had diabetes, a 90% loss of feeling in both feet from diabetic neuropathy, and all the other comorbidity that you'd expect to go along with that. So I decided that I was not going to let my dad down. As I said, that man didn't let me down one time in 40 years. So I vowed to not only lose the weight and eradicate the diseases, but to restore myself to the kind of vibrant health that I enjoyed while I was in my prime. And I was hugely successful. In 1 year, without surgery, I dropped 215 pounds, reversed the diabetes, and eradicated all the disease states.
What was the aha moment that you suddenly decided to change it all around? I mean, you had really hit the skids at that point. What happened that suddenly made you do that?
Well, in my view of things, like everything is a reflection of something else. And so the experience of watching my dad's weight cut in half, watching him robbed of his livelihood, his health, his well-being, and eventually his sanity and his peace of mind was the catalyst that I decided then to take control of my own health, my own well-being, to get my life back. And if you look at that in that spirit of the holographic universe, which is something we hear about all the time now with New Age thought and spirituality and everything, look at what happened to him. His weight was cut in half, and it was those diseases that robbed him of not only his health and his well-being, but ultimately killed him. I took that same experience and I turned it on its head, and I used it as a catalyst to effectively cut my weight in half, to eradicate the diseases and to restore myself to vibrant health.
Well, you must have a real fighter in you. A lot of people would just lay down and die over, let it go and just stay in that place.
Well, thank you. That's a wonderful compliment. But understand that, and though I appreciate that, and I do have a spirit, of a fighter for sure, a warrior spirit. I wasn't, when I made that pledge to myself and to my dad, I pledged that I wasn't going to let him down. So come hell or high water, I was going to do this. So the good news is that as a result of this experience, I'm literally a different person. I've taken that same degree of fortitude and determination and resolve, and I'm using it to advance my career on all fronts. I became a sponsored athlete. I'm now a Warrior Force spokesperson, which is the leader in plant-based nutrition, because I do everything that I do on a plant-based whole foods diet.
So is that naturopathic kind of eating, or what is it?
Well, I would say holistic.
Holistic? Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate for naturopathic medicine, actually. I'm glad you asked that. And actually, the Warrior Force is the brainchild of Dr. James Sheridan, and he has a background, extensive background in naturopathic medicine and homeopathic medicine. So I became an actor, and I also started working as a transformational speaker. I've literally been given a second chance and have been, in the spirit of keeping with the show, breaking the limits and proving that everything is possible, and really living a life that I might have lived before hadn't my life taken the turn that it did. But I'm grateful that it did, and I was able to turn it around and now be what I call my true and authentic self, and be the best version of me that I can.
Well, it sounds like your dad's still inspiring you through all this now, and all the time.
Absolutely.
That's great.
My dad, I believe that when he made his transition, a piece of me died with him. But I believe the good news is the best parts of who that man was live on in me. In my view of things, energy can be neither created nor destroyed. It merely changes form. And my dad's integrity, his fortitude, his determination, his resolve, I believe they live on in me.
That's really great story. And like you said, breaking the limits, it sounds like you've broken a lot of limits. I mean, you must be, you're like half the size you were.
That's right.
And you're now an athlete, amongst other things, and a spokesperson. Right. So, and I know one thing is that public speaking is one of the number one fears. So had you spoken before, or did you just launch right into it?
Well, I actually have spoken before, because I used to coach football and wrestling. I coached for several years, and I also did some teaching at the junior college level and did some substitute teaching, and was also teaching for the state fire marshal's office. So I'm used to being in a place where I'm in front of people and talking, but this is a totally different level, obviously, and I've appeared on over 90 TV and radio shows and 10 or 12 magazines, 2 covers, and speaking of being half of myself, I've actually embarked on a second transformation now, and I'm breaking new limits. I set my intention very recently to drop down to 7% body fat, and to do so under a mantle that inspires and empowers other people to take advantage of my experience, to be the healthiest and most physically fit version of themselves they can possibly be. So I am in the process now working with people like Tom Terwilliger. He's my achievement mentor. Tom is a former Mr. America, a two-time Mr. Olympia contender, the author of several best-selling books on transformation. He's an empowerment coach. And Eric Brozier is my coach and master trainer. He's authored 4 books on substantial and rapid physique transformation. Himself is one of the top drug-free for life professional bodybuilders. He's an Ironman magazine cover model.
What methodology are you going to use for this new transformation? Do you have a specific way you're going to go about it? You already know?
I do. We've combined forces with the other members of my team, which you can learn more about if you go to my website, getempowerednow.com. Empowered spelled with an I. I was starting to say that Tracy Lynn Cowan is my trainer. So what I did like it was I aligned myself with a team of experts in their field, and I said, okay, look, I've gotten this far. You can't produce scientific results without a scientific method. And obviously to shred down to 7% body fat, but to do it in a way that's healthy, that's not depleting, that is sustainable. I have no desire to hold on to 7% for any length of time, but to do it in such a way that's not depleting and that's done very in a very safe way. It takes a scientific method. So what we did is we sat down and we sort of created this program, a periodization program to ramp up to the insanity, basically, transformation.
The insanity. Program. Oh, I just want to let you know that we're running on to 2 minutes, so I want to make sure that you get in the key points you want, and also how people can get hold of you, learn more about you, anything you want to tell the audience before we close up.
The transformation program to get down to 7% is going to be a little bit of insanity. It's going to be a lot of hard work, and it's going to be the hardest thing I've ever done. But I've got experts like Tom and like Eric and Tracy behind me, and I'm doing it obviously on a plant-based whole foods diet and also fueled by Warrior Force, which is the leader in plant-based nutrition, bar none. So there's a process, there's a method, there's a science behind all this. My website, which is the best way to get a hold of me, is www.getempowerednow.com. Empowered is spelled with an I. You can link up to me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, all those different platforms by going to my website.
Okay. And I've seen a lot of stuff popping up on Facebook. You're all over the place right now.
Well, there's a lot going on. I've got several magazines that I've just been featured in, Optimized Magazine and newsstands all over Canada. I have the men's health feature for the June issue of Natural Awakenings magazine. All of this is up on my website or on Facebook. I've got 7 or 8 more magazines that are featuring my story in the next few weeks, and a ton of interviews plus a mini documentary.
Do you have a parting thought for everybody before we close up the interview?
Well, I just say thanks again for having me on the show, and I would say anybody who's really ready to make positive and permanent changes in their life, whether it has to do with weight loss or just personal spiritual growth or transformation, please do reach out to me. There's a ton of resources on my website, and whether you're on a plant-based whole foods diet or not, I encourage you, get off the processed foods, whatever it takes at all costs. Eat non-GMO, support local sustainable agriculture, the transformative power of a plant-based diet. Don't take my word for it. There's a billion sites on the internet that you can use to back it up. I would encourage all people at all costs to get off the processed foods as soon as possible.
Thank you so much for joining us. That's certainly a very inspirational story, and I look forward to seeing how you do on this 7% body challenge you're on.
Yeah, it's going to be the hardest thing I've ever done, but I've got an incredible team behind me, so thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Leica.
Hi, this is Leica Sean with Breaking the Limits, and today I'm really excited because I have for you the Earl Trio. Now, I wanted to start out, first of all, if you want to introduce yourselves individually so that everybody knows who you are. I know, Sean, you are one of the first founders of the band, right?
I'm the last standing one here, yeah. There's been multiple reiterations, but yeah, I'm probably the oldest member, and...
Okay, and what's your story? Did you come after, or introduce yourself?
My name's Al. I came probably a couple of years into it. We've been together as a group on and off in various configurations for over 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, of course...
I'm Bill Lee, and I joined, I think it was in the April of 1985 time frame.
Right in the beginning.
Right in the beginning.
He's the transient member. He's kind of in and out.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's our resident transient.
Well, we have a little bit of time, not a lot, so I wanted to start out. We had 3 questions I wanted to ask. First of all, the how your band came together in the first place. I know, Sean, you have probably that story to tell the viewers.
So, three of us came down from Bell Labs at the same time Bill came down from Chicago, so we all originated from Chicago. And then we collectively got together. Two of those guys left, but one of them lived in the same neighborhood as Al, and decided he was a drummer and decided he wanted to be a guitar player, so he conned Al into taking his own drum set so he could go play guitar.
So you're a salesman.
And that's
too,
how
right?
Al joined. That's how Al joined. And Bill was the bass player and been sort of in and out because of travels. I'm probably the most consistent member because I haven't moved.
So that's okay.
That's pretty much it.
Pretty
And we've
much it.
stuck together for 20 years because
Wow.
we have the same musical tastes and we basically like
That's
one another.
great.
So that's
Well, on that note, I know you guys are coming out with a new CD, right? Do you want to talk about, Al, a bit about what you're currently doing, like what you're putting together?
Yeah, currently, about a month ago, we spent the better part of a day in one of the local music studios, and we put about 9 songs in the can, as we say. We recorded about 9 songs. We're currently engineering the final outputs of those songs. I don't know if we'll keep all 9. That's one of those,
Oh, yeah.
one of those things that, as you run through it and mix it and decide.
Must be hard to axe a song. I mean, they must all become your favorites to some degree. Working
They
on
do,
them while you do.
but then again, you want to strive for something close to perfection.
Mm-hmm.
We don't always get there, but that's what the engineering magic is all about.
Yeah.
When you edit a video versus editing a music piece, if
Right.
we can make it work, we make it work. So I would say probably we don't have a fixed timeline when that's going to come out yet. We do most of our own engineering and mixing.
Okay.
Some of our former band members help us out quite a bit on the engineering side. So I would say hopefully by this summer we'll have the new CD out, and
Great.
we may have to put something out on our website. Maybe we'll see if we can name it.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you have a name for it yet?
We don't at this point in time, so
Okay, but you have some former band members on the bench that come in and help you out with the.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they probably know all your sound and feel and all that already. So it's probably
Better than
really,
we
really
do.
good. Better than you do.
Yeah, their ears.
That's
Yeah.
great.
We're all sort of closet producers anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's just,
Doing it for 20 years together, right?
yeah,
So.
right.
Exactly.
So wow, so past, present, and of course we got to ask about the future. What all your events are that are coming up, and things that you're going to do that people can see you at, and events and venues. Did you want to talk about
Well,
that?
we've got a lot of exciting things coming up. Actually, the next big thing that we've got coming up is going to be June 1st up at the Jupiter Abacoa Town Center by Roger Dean Stadium. We're going to be playing for the Southeast Rod and Custom Show. It's a pretty big event. It draws in the vicinity of about 2,000 people, and it happens at on the first Saturday of June. So we're excited about that. It's right at like I said, the Jupiter Abacoa Town Center. It'll be we take the stage at 5:00 p.m. on Saturday, June the 1st, and admission is free. So please. Certainly feel free to come out to that job. We're pretty excited about it. We are taking a little family time for a while after that as we get into the summer season, but we'll be roaring right back out of that early in August. On August the 10th, we're going to be playing downtown West Palm Beach.
Just in time for the heat.
Just in time for the heat. There's nothing like a daytime job in West Palm Beach in August, but we're pretty excited about this opportunity. This was at the direct request of Mayor Jerry Moyo of West Palm Beach.
And I met you at the Epilepsy Walk, and the mayor was there.
Right,
That's
and
when
she
I
was
met
there, and that was a follow-up call from that, and they've asked us
that's excellent.
to do this show on August the 10th. We'll be taking the stage at 10 o'clock in the morning, and also there's some additional opportunities in that area that'll be coming out of that event that we met at. For example, a session that we'll be following up at BB King's on Clematis Street as well as
great.
Clematis at night. So we're looking forward to that to fold into a number of opportunities. We have in the books right now in early November, specifically November the 8th, we're going to be playing once again at Dreher Park, West Palm Beach Zoo for a nighttime event.
Nice.
It's called Expedition Epilepsy for the Epilepsy Foundation of Florida. It's a very, very big event. A bit more formal than the event that we met back on.
Well, we were doing a walk,
yeah.
so we were,
So this is more of a formal event. A lot of celebrity type people will be there.
Oh, okay.
And it's, like I said, it's a major fundraiser. But we had the opportunity to play it last year, and it's a really fun gig. And it's an excellent surrounding there at Dreher Park in West Palm Beach. So
Yeah, that was lovely.
it was. So some other things that we got in the pipeline, of course, is that we're working with trying to nail down some dates at some of the local clubs here in the area, specifically World of Beer and.
World of Beer.
There you go. Okay, I think I hit a good nerve.
Everybody
with
knows
that
World
one.
of Beer, so
Yeah.
you just put that up there, they'll be there.
And, we had a very successful gig last week. I think you know that the Pompano Seafood Festival was last
yeah.
weekend, or actually 2 weekends ago, sorry. And coincident with that was the Market Festival. We played the Market Festival in Pompano Beach that same day. And Sean's been following up with some of the folks from that. They certainly want us back at that festival again. And additionally, they want to get us sometime downstream at Pompano Under the Stars. So we're pretty excited about that opportunity coming up, too.
Yeah, you get a lot of word of mouth business.
It is. So we're here. We're the Earl Trio and counting on that word of mouth. But Al is following up on some opportunities in Deerfield Beach. I mean, we're really in the process of, we made a commitment at the beginning of 2013 that we want to really start to take our sound, which is kind of a unique blend of classic rock, but adapted a little bit for our very unique South Florida atmosphere. that we
Speaking
have
of
here.
that, do you want to talk a little bit about this? What
So
do you
what we
here?
have, this is some rough cuts that we have. Rough cuts, what that really means is that they're not in the final mix down yet.
Okay.
We're still in the process of tweaking them and making them a little bit better than when we originally recorded
Sort of a
them.
demo kind of
This
thing?
is more of a demo. We've prepared this for you, and it's got a couple of songs that are a good cross-section of what we do. And these will be on the final album that I did hear Al commit to by the summertime frame. So as the business manager,
That means it's good as done, right?
I'm walking out of here with commitment. And
So
that's
now
important
he's,
for
now
me.
he's on the hook.
No, you're on the hook. You're on
So-
television on the hook. You're in trouble now.
Yeah. So, but we had made a commitment to really, to take what, as working professionals, of course, our time was limited, but we've decided to really aggressively try to get our sound out to the people, to get in the venues that are comfortable for us, where the people like us, where they want us back, and then to kind of channel that network a little bit to just kind of be a self-sustaining engine.
You
for
do a
more.
lot of local. You just do lots
Absolutely,
of local.
absolutely.
Yeah, which is
So,
really nice.
Although if you can get us in at the Beacon Theater in New York, we'll be there.
Hey, we'll check it out for you.
Yeah.
So actually, we're going to be ending the show with part of your demo. So that'll be
Okay.
lovely for everybody to hear that. My producer's messing with me, so I'm not sure what he's saying, but I know
Okay.
Let's give out the contact information.
yes. Well, how can people find out more about you?
Okay, so if you go to, I think that everybody's or many people's media choice or social media is Facebook. So you can certainly find Earl Trio on Facebook.
Okay.
Feel free to sign up. You'll get the invitations to our shows.
So your events go out through Facebook
Absolutely.
primarily? Okay, that's great.
Absolutely. And then also, if you're a musician, we have kind of the LinkedIn for musicians. It's called
Oh.
Reverb Nation, and we have a page on Reverb Nation. Also can be found via looking up Earl Trio and joining Earl Trio on Reverb Nation. And from there, you get information about past shows, upcoming shows. We'll be loading audio content and video content as time goes on.
So they can get a taste of the Earl Trio by coming there
Absolutely.
and listening to some of the demo stuff, and
Yep.
of course listening to the demo we have at the end of the show
Why
here.
don't you go
Right.
ahead and give out our number for bookings, Bill?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
so our number for bookings is 561-374-3133, and that
Email
number is
is-
available 24 hours a day.
And you got an email
So-
for us? too?
Email is earltrio@comcast.net.
So start emailing and calling people.
Yep.
So thank you so much for being on the show. This
Thank
has been
you.
Lovely.
Thank you, Mika.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you.
As the son of a sailor, I went out on the sea for adventure, expanding the view of the captain and crew like a man
Goodbye.